Hey everyone, it's Matt at Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at Beyond Skyrim Bruma for Skyrim on the Xbox. This is actually an opportunity to revisit Bruma, but in Skyrim. So we're going to go over what exactly Beyond Skyrim is and what that mod project is. This has actually changed a little bit in terms of how you can play it on Xbox, so we're going to look at what you will need to actually play it, but then also some mods that maybe you want to avoid or check out along with it, and then what you're going to be doing. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. If you have any questions, comment down below. And with all that, let's take a look at Beyond Skyrim Bruma for Skyrim on the Xbox. Beyond Skyrim Bruma is a project on PC. It's more of a continuation of Skyrim and then revisiting some parts of Cyrodiil, and we get to check it out on the Xbox. This is different than Oblivion on PC, which is kind of like Oblivion recreated in Skyrim. And with the news of an Oblivion remaster, they're all different things. So they all kind of exist in their own way. And in this case, in order to play Beyond Skyrim Bruma on your Xbox, you will need to download 3 mods. They're listed in order here: 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. This was different before, but now there's just the 3. And there are some other mods that you can use along with this. There's actually a texture mod for the city of Bruma, so I downloaded that, and then there's one that adds lanterns to the signposts in and around Bruma. I didn't currently have a Lanterns in Skyrim mod on, so I figured I'd use this one. Overall, this should take up about 2.3 gigabytes, although I'd probably just set aside at least 2.5 gigs, and then make sure you don't install any of the Creation Club stuff yet. Do that after you're done with everything. Just keep in mind that this is an expansion mod that was ported to Xbox, so it's a totally new area, so there's always some weird things that can happen with mods in general, but even more so with a big area like this. My recommendation is to probably stay away from things that the mod already does. So for example, there is music in Beyond Skyrim Bruma, and it's really good, by the way. If you usually run with music mods in your game, you might want to steer clear of those. I like using the Skyrim Music 2 mod, but I'm going to turn it off just for this expansion, just in case. Another thing you might want to avoid are any greenery mods, because your frame rate might take a little bit of a hit. If you use a lot of other mods along with this one, you might want to go on Bethesda.net and see if there are any patch mods related to using your mod with Bruma. You can do this in-game too, but there are some patches for things, even things we've looked at here on the channel like Shields on Back, that you might want to look at. The majority of people who just want to try this out will probably not need to worry about this, but in case you're getting some extra crashes, it might be worth checking out. And for those of you who like the Alternate Start mod, I did notice there was a Bruma version of this mod as well, if you want to check that out. Once you install the Bruma mods and whatever else you want to use, the Pale Pass will actually show up in the game, and it's actually below Riverwood, so underneath Whiterun and all that. You will come across a cave along the way, although this is not the one that you need to go into. Once you get to the gate where Bruma is, you will find out that there is an alternate way into the gate. If you happen to not be sided with the Imperials, there's a couple other ways to get in. You can attack the guards if you want, but you can also take an alternate route. So you can go through a cave system. You just walk back down that path that you used to go up to the gates, and you'll talk to this guy, and he'll give you the skinny on where this is. This trail or cave system can be a little confusing, and you can run around in circles quite a bit. It's worth it to explore, but here's the route that I took to actually get to the exit. I ended up getting sidetracked a lot, and so I ended up spending like almost an hour in this place. Once you get to the exit, you will be greeted with a new quest, and that is Welcome to Cyrodiil. Straight on from here, I eventually found my way to a watchtower, but I did follow some of the signs along the way, but it's not too hard to actually find where you're going. There's a lot to explore around Bruma, but I would probably recommend just going straight for the city first, because that's where you're going to get some of your main quests as well as the side quests. Then you can go out and explore after that. And this is mainly in service to the Cyrodiil project on the PC, so this was actually going to be a continuation of the Skyrim story. You're just going to be revisiting Bruma and other places in Cyrodiil. There are some nods to things that will come later in the Cyrodiil expansion on the PC, but for right now, in the game on the Xbox, you're only going to be able to do so much as far as the factions go. For example, there is the Fighters Guild, which was in Bruma in Oblivion, and you can go in there. You can even do a few things there, as well as an odd job of handing out advertisements. This is a cool spot to explore a little bit too, because it does remind me a little bit of the Companion Stronghold. You just won't be able to actually join the Fighters Guild. In fact, one of the characters will just say, come back soon, and that's probably a nod to the eventual release of Cyrodiil on the PC. But even with things like that, there are a lot of different things that you can go do, little cave systems to explore and people to help out. And with the cast of characters that there does seem to be a decent amount here. And as mentioned in the original Bruma video that I did here on the channel, this is all fully voice acted as well. All of it is really good and varied. However, some of the audio levels will kind of fluctuate depending on who you're talking to. It's not a huge deal, and it's probably just more dependent on the recordings that were sent into the mod team, but I try to talk to as many people as possible to see if you can get some dialogue out of them. Well, and not to mention like actual quests. You can tell the team had some fun with it.
Or I could slam you with a tambourine so vigorously that every Bruma citizen could hear it. That would make you the joke of the day. Oh, look, there goes the tambourine man.
To round this video out, I'll just leave you with some closing thoughts, because in that original video that I made, I did say it was worth it. I will say this is probably only for people who are wanting something totally different, a different area, and that have a lot of extra mod space. Like, there's a lot of different places to actually explore in this new area. This can conceivably take up about half of what you have, so you kind of need to keep that in mind. I think the content is good enough to warrant it. You would just need to learn how to build around something like that. And hopefully the beginning section of this video helped you out with that, at least a little bit. I wouldn't say there's really anything groundbreaking in terms of quests. It's kind of what you're used to from the main game of Skyrim, but it is cool that it is a continuation of what you did in that game. So you'll hear about things that happened in the main game while in Bruma. I'm not sure if any more of the Beyond Skyrim mods will actually come to Xbox once that Cyrodiil project gets released on the PC, but I do hope some of that actually does happen, because there's some cool stuff here. I'd say if you have the time, have the space, it would definitely be worth checking out, and it is also nice that now we just have to worry about 3 mods instead of 2 different versions of the same mods. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Wanted to update this video, one I had on the channel while the content is still good. Because these mods actually split into 3 rather than 4 or 6, I thought it would be best to actually update this, and the timing seems right for this one. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.